dreaded spouse objection. How many of you guys get this one? I love this. It sounds great, but I need to check with my spouse. The dreaded partner objection comes up a lot. You know it does. Any industry, I don't care where you're at, you're always going to get that partner objection. If you're B2B, it could be disguised and, worded differently. Like, yeah, I just need to check with the CEO. I need to run this through my manager. It's still a partner. It's still the same thing. Stick around in this video. I am going to 100% effectively show you how to handle any spouse objection. I'm going to specifically talk to online fitness coaches when dealing with partner objections. You book in your clarity call, your strategy call, however way you word it. You get to the end, it's like, Scott, I really want to do this, but I need to check with my partner. What do you do? How do you handle that? I'm going to show you how to handle that. Before I go into the details on how to handle any partner objection in any industry, let's focus on what not to do first. Okay. I'm going to show you the number one thing, what not to do. And it usually is in the form of like directives or pre-strategy, information that you send that prospect before they actually jump on a call with you. A lot of it I see as far as sales resistance, I see it triggered here because you as a business owner, you're trying to eliminate as many objections as you can. That's the whole purpose of the pre-strategy, is to nurture that prospect, get them ready for the call, lay out some expectations. But here's what not to do that can actually impact a sale in a negative way. Let's cover the big do not do this. Never ever set the stage of your clarity call or your strategy call with this type of bullshit. Maybe you send them an email once they book a call. All right, on this call, make sure you're able to make a decision. Or it could be like, please be prepared on your call tomorrow to make a decision. You have to make a decision tomorrow. Like, fuck. Talk about trying to pick a fight with Mike Tyson on a plate. Probably wouldn't go over well. And I get it. Trust me, I get it. The logic. You're trying to pre-handle any spouse objections before the actual call. Look, I've done thousands of strategy calls, right? Using the same wordage of trying to prepare people for the call, trying different things. And 9 times out of 10, that person's still going to show up on your call without their husband, without their wife. Why? Because it's unrealistic. It's called life. It's called kids. It's really hard to get 2 people. You've got one person that's booking in a call with you because they have certain goals, and you have their partner is doing their own thing. It's very unlikely that you get a partner on the call because you've asked for it. And wording it decision makers, it's just salesy. I mean, you're just triggering shit is what you're doing by wording it that way. You're showing them that you have an agenda. It's like, I need all breadwinners on this call because tomorrow or 24 hours, whenever the call is, you'll be making a decision. It just triggers, man. It triggers. And the other thing is, and I've seen this, right? Like being bold enough to really state, like, be prepared to make a decision. We only look at serious people. Like, that is probably one of the worst things you can do. If there's a way to overqualify people, that would be it. Because you're going to lose about 70% of your prospects when they go through that. You just are. It's very aggressive, right? Because it just shows that you have a clear agenda without even talking to someone and understanding exactly what it is they need and making sure that you can help them. It is so old school. It is so prehistoric. It just absolutely is one way to kill a deal. I'm going to share a personal experience. Okay. This is real. I'm not making this up. This is real. Okay. This happened 2 years ago. I wanted to hire a fitness coach. Okay. I found this guy that had a whole community. It was for men. It was a community with nutrition, uploading a fitness schedule. It was really good. I really liked it, but I found him through a buddy of mine that was doing it. And I was sold before I even booked a call, because I asked my friend, I'm like, is this guy any good? Will I like this? He's like, yeah, Scott, 100%. He's good. He's solid. Look at my results. I'm like, yeah, I'm good. So I booked a call. Then I got sent a directory of pre-strategy information, which is very common, right? I got an email with a breakdown of how they want me prepared for this call. So, it was very standard. The call is going to be about 30 minutes. It wasn't even a Zoom call. It was a phone call. I initially thought it was a Zoom call and was actually shocked when I found out it was just a phone call. Anyway, there was a few areas that red flagged me that I couldn't believe it. Number one was, yes, it had make sure you have all decision makers there, which is whatever. It is what it is. I'm used to seeing that. But the second thing was really a bit of an eye opener for me. It was something worded to the lines of like, our programs do require a significant investment. Like they literally wrote that. Like, we're not cheap. Okay. So we just want to give you a heads up that it is a significant amount for this program. If you're not willing to invest, please cancel your call tomorrow. Guys, I'm not exaggerating. It said that. I may be butchering the words a little bit. I'm not going to obviously announce, who the business is, but I've never seen anything that aggressive before, right? Ever. In fact, if it wasn't a referral from a buddy or a reference from a buddy, I wouldn't have made it past that process, right? I would actually probably wanted to call him up and say, your sales process is actually bleeding. Let me help you. Fuck, I'll help you for free. So that was the first thing. So anyway, I knew I wanted to do this program, so I just booked the call anyway. I was floored, and I was like, I even showed my wife, I'm like, never do this, by the way. She's like, yeah, I would never do that. So I booked the call. I jump on the call. It was a phone call, like I said, and it was 30 minutes. And oh my Lord, this guy was scripted. I could tell the entire time he was reading from a script. This was actually the CEO. He owned the business, right? And he did well. Like, this business does do well, but I could tell it was scripted. He wasn't in the conversation. His response time, he wasn't reactive. He wasn't attentive. I could tell that. I did end up joining again. I wanted to make sure that all I wanted to do was sign up. I think it was like $3K, the investment. So when he was wording in the email, the prior email, a significant investment, that actually, like, in my mind, I was like, oh shit, like, is this like 10K? I don't know if I want to invest 10K, right? So he had me guessing, but it was 3K, which was fairly typical for a program. So I was like, okay. I ended up moving forward. Now, if I didn't have a friend doing this program that gave me the thumbs up, this, was good for me, I would never have booked a call with this guy. Or if I did book a call with this guy, I would have destroyed him on this call as a prospect. I would have been A-type. My sales resistance would have been through the roof. I would have picked him apart, but I knew what I was getting into, and it was a good program. It was a great program. It was an awesome community. Very, very good. We don't want to overqualify and use that level and give someone directives to that level, because you're just triggering sales resistance from the get-go. In my mind, I believe this business has lost thousands of dollars and lost so many prospects that never actually made it to the strategy call because they were trying to overqualify so much, right? Where it's like, he just wants people to jump on a call and pass out the credit card and good to go. You're losing 80 to 90% of the actual sales process, the people that are out there. You've lost a lot of business. So let's be clear on that. Don't do that. You can still get details on a pre-strategy call, email, or directive, or whatever questionnaire that you sent out. Take a lighter approach, but have more detailed questions. Like, be more clear. Are you married? Yes. Okay, great. We find a lot of times when we do calls that partners do wish to both be on the call at the same time. Do you feel like that may be the case for your partner, or how do you feel? And they're going to tell you, no, it's okay. I'm doing this call myself, right? This is my goal. This is my focus. My partner's supportive. You're already getting valuable information from a simple question like that. Or it's like, if you're married, does your partner support your fitness journey? Something light and simple, but detailed. It's like, if we can help you, would you be willing to invest? You're not making any assumptions. You're not giving any directives. If we can help you, would you be willing to invest? It's so much smoother. And they could have a choice. Yes, I'm willing to invest, but I might need to get help finding the money or coming up with the money. Or if it's like, no, I'm not willing to invest, well, then you're pretty clear on that. But make sure that you fix your fucking marketing if that's the type of prospects coming through your funnel. My point is, take a lighter approach. Like, seriously, it's not rocket science. You're taking a lighter approach, but you're indirectly setting the tone of that call. So do not kill the sale before your call. Stop overqualifying. All right, cool. Now I got that out of the way. Let's get to you being on a call and handling a spouse objection. Step one, you find out, is this a logistical objection or is this a smoke screen? 1 and 2, it's either a real? It's not real. This is where you identify. You need to identify. That's your first step. Identify, act accordingly, and choose your path. Don't choose the wrong path. That's why you start here. Logistical or smokescreen. Get clear on that. It's very simple. You know, you have a 3K fitness offer, right? Spouse objection typically is going to go like this. You know, this sounds great, Scott. I really want to do this, but I usually have this thing with me and my partners that anything over $1,000 we need to discuss. It's just more a respect for the other person. That's how we operate in our household, right? How many times you heard that? That is a go-to response from your prospect. So my response to that would be, yeah, I get it. I'm married. You know, the last time I invested in a $30,000 program, I'm still sleeping on the couch. So I get it. You know, add humor, bring humor into the conversation. So you're a human being. This is where you connect. This is where you just cut the shit out, you know, lean out and just let them know that you're human. And then I might follow up by saying, no, I totally get it. So when you do go speak to your husband, where do you think he's at? Like, do you feel he'll support you with your fitness goals and all that fun stuff? Or how do you feel? You're literally just being genuine. You're curious. And by asking it that way, you're going to get the real answer. Totally, Scott. My husband's completely supportive. He's awesome. He's amazing. At that point, nothing's come up. You're reading your prospect. You're not seeing any red flags. So go into the next step, because usually if that's the response you get, you can still actually do the sale on that call. You can just indirectly do it in a way where it's very natural. It's a natural process, right? You can take down the details. You can get a small deposit. It's more of an FYI thing, right? There's ways that you can do. What you don't want to do when you get that type of response is keep it open. You don't want to just open-end it. If the next step is a call, so it could be something like, when do you anticipate talking to your husband? Oh, well, he gets home at 5 o'clock tonight. I'm probably going to have a conversation with him after dinner. And then you, as a salesperson, from there, don't leave it open. Go into actually book in that appointment, which should be your onboarding appointment. All right, man, that's pretty simple. Usually at this point, what we do with a lot of members is we'll take down your details. And just so you're not chasing me down, because I'm all over the place, right? I've got an availability tonight at 7 o'clock. Does that work? Yeah, that sounds good. All right, perfect. Book in the appointment with the intent. Be very clear on that. If it is real, at that point, identify that this is real. There's no red flags coming up. If there is a red flag, guess what? You got to act accordingly. Choose your path and handle it from there. I have done thousands of strategy calls. This is data. I have brought in many people in programs that gave me a spouse objection that was a logistical objection, and all I did was map out the mechanics to get them there and book them in, and they always showed, they always signed up. What you don't want to do is go in the wrong direction when it's actual logistical, because now you're triggering something. You can kill the sale. If you're assuming that this is a mindset issue when it's really logistical, it's like, I just need to tell my wife, right? It's 3K. Shit. I mean, that's normal. That's okay. It's not like you're justifying their objection, because this is real. What you don't want to do is go down the wrong path. I've seen many salespeople take this approach because they're not seeing what is in front of them and they're destroying the sale. Don't do that. Now, if the response from your prospect is, you know, and you're asking them, how do you feel your partner will support you? And you get something like, well, I don't know how it's going to go, because I've tried other programs in the past and I think he's just tired and sick of this, right? I'm always looking for things, you know, and I don't know how he's going to feel about 3,000. Money's a little tight right now. When that's the type of response you get, you cannot leave here. You cannot leave your prospect with this much doubt, because you could go ahead and just hope that they have a conversation and the husband sees it and comes around and, you know, they show up on that next enrollment call or onboarding call. 9 times out of 10, you're going to get an email or a text from your prospect saying, me and my husband talked about it and we both agree. Usually it's we both agree that this is not the best time right now. Money's tight. They say both agree because they have been shut down by their partner, and it's more of a pride thing. That's the response you're going to get. So it's important to understand where your prospect's at. If your prospect truly wants to do this, but they need to go to their partner. It's not an FYI. It's more of a, hey, I need my partner to help me with this. Coach them. That's the only thing that you can do, is coach them. Don't challenge their way of thought. Don't slap leadership frames on them at this point when it is true money logistical that they need it from their partner. I see that so many times, and that's one thing that pisses me off, right? And the sales games out there slap that identity type of responsibility frame. Bullshit, right? If they're stuck with their partner and they need partner approval, it's your job to help and coach them. You know, and it could be a conversation like you saying, okay, that's very common for us to see, but I can tell you right now that if I could give you any advice, your partner hasn't been on this call today, so they have no context of what you and I have covered. So when you go to them and you tell them the price, they're probably going to be morally focused on that based the results that you know you can get. I think more importantly, just kind of put the partner aside there. Do you feel like this is the right decision? And they're going to tell you, they're going to say yes, right? From there, help them. Well, I can tell you in my experience, the one thing your partner is going to see when you go to them and tell them about this and get some help in, the finance side, they're going to need to see your confidence. That's what they need to see. It's your confidence. It's your level of confidence when you go to them. And the reason I tell you that, the reason I tell you to position your prospect and coach them to some degree is that there's a big chance that you're going to need that partner on a second call. Coach them to get that partner on a second call. You are a sales professional. Once that partner is on the call, they're not going to leave that call without moving forward because you're going to instill that belief in both of them. Now, if a partner objection starts with, yes, this sounds great, I just need to check with my partner, and also I need to check my finances, I need to think about it, I need to pray on it, I need to go mow the lawn, I need to do this, I need to do that, it's smokescreen. And what do I keep saying? 9 times out of 10, that objection didn't happen there, it happened upstream. There's something you missed on the actual call. So if it is more of a mindset or a fear-based, again, act accordingly and tackle that way. I hope you like that. If you did like that, like and subscribe, and I'm going to keep coming back. This was a good one. Partner objection is a big one. I see many people losing to partners or going the other way, like I said, creating resistance when they don't have to. It's just a game, guys. It's just a process. Just know your patterns, know the path that you're going in. Objections are extremely easy when you've pre-handled them and you've identified them and you know which way you're going. And that's why I don't believe in all this bullshit about, I can overcome any objection. Well, the thing is you can go in circles in objection, but if you miss something, if you miss some main source, you're just having a combative conversation. Don't do that. You don't need to do that. All right. So that's all I got. See you guys on the next one.